The newest news for 9/11 Truth would be, as we were talking on the phone before, 20th anniversary just happened. A bunch of us met down in New York. The turnout was probably somewhere between 30 and 40 people. We had people down at Vesey, and we also had people at Foley Square. It was a good turnout. I think it was productive. Could always do things better, but for the most part, it was a productive meeting, event.
Get together.
See some other things that are new in the 9/11 news. Richard Gage has left Architects and Engineers for 9/11 Truth and is going out on his own venture. You can see more about that at Richard Gage. It's Richard, Gage 911.org. He is, I just saw an email that he's going to do the first radio show to tell all of what happened there. I forget what radio show that's on, but
Yeah, I saw that, but it was sent on Thursday, late Thursday, and it referred to the show being on Friday, but it didn't give the date. By the time I saw it, it was already Friday night. So I didn't know if I had missed it or if it was next Friday. So they either cut it really close or it's just still coming up.
Yep. Some other things, the Matt Campbell has gone forward with his lawsuit in the UK over the death of his brother Geoff. That's going forward. The lawyers committee has taken the grand jury petition to the appellate level in the Southern District of New York. They have taken the FBI lawsuit to the Supreme Court in the Washington, D.C. area. What else are we missing that's happened new? Back on the 20th anniversary, the Boston 9/11 Truth Movement had a banner flying over Boston. It was successful, and we unfortunately didn't get ours. Deb Lee. We didn't get ours on the 11th, but we did get the banner flying on the 12th. Deb Lee is connecting to audio. Deb, if you can hear us already, we're just giving a rundown of new news that's happened for the 9/11 Truth Movement. Hey, Deb.
Hi, Jean.
Hi,
How are
Deb.
you? Hi, everybody. Hi.
Well, everybody's just the two of us right now.
Okay. Well, I think this is a great idea, and I will come as often as I can. It'll probably grow things, if no,
Yeah.
We need this, and but I can't stay on very long. I'm still packing and like working, so just saying hello.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, we didn't, it's like you said, I mean, first meeting chances are, with very short notice also.
Yeah.
And it's something that's new that we're just starting. It's not like, we had a marketing agency promoting it ahead of time.
Hello, number 5403, whoever joined.
5.
We have a fourth
Dave
person.
Slesinger.
Hey, Dave.
Hi, Dave.
Hey.
Hi, Dave.
Oh, yeah.
Right
Who
now,
else is here?
just the four of us, and we were just given just for the first show, I think at the beginning of it's not even a show, it's just a place for us to be able to come and discuss every Sunday, just discussing new news for 9/11. And we were just going through the 20th anniversary and Richard Gage leaving, and where the grand jury petition is, where the FBI lawsuit is. I don't know if anybody can think any new news that would be relative to 9/11 Truth Movement.
Well, I listened to Kevin Barrett interview Richard last night, and I was sad that Kevin did not ask Richard who voted for him and against him, because Richard said the vote was close.
Richard would have never thrown anybody under the bus. Would have never done that, even if they had asked him.
Well, actually, I was very impressed with Richard. Did not seem angry at the people who voted against him. I was very impressed with that.
But he's always had that class. He knows not to do that.
Mhm.
That's what makes him so respected in the movement, is that he treats everybody with kindness and respect, and he never lashes out. So, you know, that's his strength, and that's why he's such a unifying force.
Yeah.
We as a movement need to know that vote, in my humble opinion.
Not sure. So that we can further divide people into good and bad?
Not necessarily.
What would be the positive?
I mean, I think Richard made a mistake. I don't know how I would have voted, but I think Richard made a mistake. He admitted that he made a mistake. I don't know if it means that he should have been thrown out, but, you know, I think there's some merit to the people who voted against him.
Mhm.
Right, and without being a fly on that wall, to hear the discussion and the implications that we can't even begin to imagine, and the stakes that are on the table because we're not there, you know, just knowing who voted for and against, I think would be very damaging, because we would make a judgment on that, and we're in no place to make a judgment. I would rather not know.
I would make a different judgment than most people.
On that, so other than that though, how was the
Yeah.
Can you give us an overall synopsis of the interview?
Fine.
Okay.
Yeah, go right ahead,
What
Dave.
else
Like,
did they talk about? What else
because-
did they talk about?
Yeah, could you be a little more descriptive?
I'm sorry. Sorry I can't be of any help. I was waiting for that and I was disappointed, but
Okay,
I was very impressed that Richard was as cool as he was.
excellent. Okay.
But did you listen to the interview, David?
Say it again.
Did you listen to the whole
Say it
interview?
again. Yes, I did.
Okay, so we were just asking you if you could give us a short recap of what was covered in that interview, because we missed it. I got the notification too late to jump in on it.
I'm sorry. I'm so old, I don't remember.
We're good.
Fair enough.
Fair enough. So what else was new? We had
I suppose, well, Kevin Barrett has his stuff online. We could find it,
yeah.
you know.
You can.
I'm sure I could ask somebody to, like Capt McGuire would know where to find it if I don't see it right away or something.
Right.
So Kevin Barrett is with Veterans Today. Some of the stuff they put out there is a little questionable, but still does a lot of good stuff. So what else is new in the 9/11 Truth movement that we might have forgotten here? The poll was done. If you want to, I think the general consensus is that the public is waking up slowly. One of the memes I just made was how people generally feel the towers came down, and 63% still thinks it was done by jet fuel and fires. So we still have our work cut out for us, that they're still subscribing to that theory.
But the thing is, that doesn't mean that they think necessarily that it was 19 hijackers in a cave that did 9/11. Like, they can still think that, you know, the US was complicit in making it happen, but the technicalities of the collapses is what they're not clear on. They still think that maybe the government was implicated and by flying the planes into the towers, but that ultimately it's the jet fuel that brought the towers down. So there's a big gap right there. Because a lot of people are supportive of a new investigation. A lot of people say they're doubtful of the story. A lot of people know about 7.
Only 20, I don't have it in front of me, only 25% are completely supportive of the story,
Right.
the government, or as
Right.
Dave calls it, the official conspiracy theory.
Right.
And that's 74% are not 100%
I'm
sure.
not convinced to
So
varying
that,
degrees.
like I
Yeah.
pointed out last time, I think that's pretty good. That's hopeful.
Yeah,
The
no, it is.
Zogby poll would give different numbers. The Zogby poll would give different numbers. Although what you said is a fair conclusion from the way you looked at our data.
Yeah.
Right.
The Zogby poll has 6% say the U.S. say Bin Laden and Al Qaeda did it. 15% says the U.S. did it, and 7% says Israel, which is still very encouraging. And 25% don't know, but that's very encouraging because saying it's only about it's a 2-to-1 ratio. People think that Al Qaeda did it to people who say no, it was the U.S. or Israel. That's a huge ratio. That's terrific.
Yeah, no, it is.
That's over 50 million people do not accept the official story. They say it's either U.S. or Israel. Over 50 million. You got to get rid of the children, people under 18, but it's out of 256 million, 22% of that are with us. It's over 50 million.
And
Right.
what was the percentage though again? Can you say that again?
15% said the U.S. did it, and 7% said that Israel did it. And
15 and
out of
7.
3/3, yes,
And what were the other
46% say
options?
Al Qaeda did it.
36.
46. So we're a little less than 2-to-1. We're a little worse than 2-to-1 ratio between us and I'm lumping Israel and U.S. folks. You know, people who say that together with the people who say that Al Qaeda did it.
Right.
And
Well, was there, that could
you
be,
know,
was there an answer of Al Qaeda and the US or, that type of
no,
answer?
it was just,
Right.
46% Al Qaeda. They may have said Bin Laden, but Al Qaeda, 46% Al Qaeda, 15% the U.S., 7% Israel, 25% don't know.
Well, that's not a exhaustive question either. If you had to choose between Al Qaeda and US, you might say Al Qaeda, but if it said Al Qaeda and the US, no, I think our question was good.
That is confusing to me. I mean, yes, the United States actually formed Al Qaeda, but that's too exotic for the average citizen to be cognizant of.
Right.
Well, it could be.
One
People
thing for
could
me
think
is
that they were.
50 million people agree with it.
Where is that?
Yeah.
Where is that poll at, David?
Zogby. Barbara Honegger put it forth, I don't know, 2-3 weeks ago.
Interesting. Okay.
Well, people think that the government was in with that. It could be Al Qaeda. There were all these stories about. Well, it was Saudi Arabia, but people could think there was some collusion. But it was also vague and distracting and pointing fingers. That it was never very clear in the media. But there could be people who wouldn't trust that. It was
Only
just one or
people
the
who are
other.
very knowledgeable would say what you just said, in my opinion.
Sandra and I just heard somebody state the fact that the ISI from Pakistan was protecting. Who were they protecting? That was.
Yeah.
They were involved as well.
Yeah, I kind of remember that.
Just a heads up, in 1 minute is 5:20, and I lead a 5:20 prayer, so I'll make a hard break there to just take a moment. Whatever.
Okay. Yeah, I probably have to get back out to work, but I just wanted to come in. So I hope you keep doing this because I'm sure people will show up.
Yeah.
Especially in the winter when Sundays are cold and you're not out as much.
Right. Yeah.
So,
Yep. Sandra was
Yeah.
like, you sent it out to the Facebook group? And I'm like, I sent it to everybody.
He posted it on the Truth Movement page that has 40,000 followers with no explanation. He just put up the link. Oh no, maybe he said did put an explanation.
I put an explanation on this, my 5,000 to Jean Larotonda, to email the 33 people we normally email, and we get 4 people, but
Huh.
all right,
So
5:20. If you're going to cut out, cool. If not, I'm just going to take a moment here.
Okay.
Lord, we just lift up this whole movement right now to you. Whatever's going on, that you would just encourage these advocates as we persevere through this. We're just asking for justice for the 9/11 victims' family members, those that have died, those that are continuing to die. Or we just ask that you would work in the hearts and minds of the judges and those in power that have the power to let this information be heard and dealt with. Just lay it at your feet, Lord, and just ask for a blessing and continued guidance and wisdom for everyone involved. We also lift up Richard as he's taken on this venture now to leave the ivory tower of the truth, and we just ask for a blessing on his journey right now. Again, we also lift up the Lawyers Committee and everyone going through these battles. Thank you for this in your name. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, guys.
Did you post it also on Facebook?
Chris Gioia, right on.
Chris, we can see you, but I'm not sure we can hear you. Well, we can't really see you. We see your name. We're not sure if you're connected through audio, video. So just to let you know, we can't get you visually or
Audio.
audio.
Hello.
Chris, if you can hear us, it's a light start. We've got you're being the 5th person here right now, but this will be going on every Sunday at 5 o'clock, and it's just sort of like a lounge, a living room for us to be able to have talks and see what's new in 9/11 Truth and any information that we can just share with each other.
Yeah, and I think we need to underline that we do want to focus on activism. I mean, the thing is, getting the information out there, yes, we've come a long way. Yes, we have a long way to go, but it's encouraging. The problem is people are getting the information and they don't really care, or they don't see how it's still relevant. And we are surrounded by truth activists who are just paying lip service to the truth movement and not doing what needs to be done in order to break through to the people who are not aware yet and who don't see the relevance of it. So, it's been a pet peeve of ours that a lot of people talk and don't do anything else. And Jean has been doing a ton of doing everything else. And, some people just don't have ideas of what to do. And, we can share these ideas. We can come up with new ideas and maybe try something that we haven't tried before to reach out. And sometimes it helps when we're several people doing it all at the same time, because then we can bounce off of each other the next week and say, how did that work for you? And so, yeah, breaking that barrier, the one that goes from passivity to activity, is the one that I think really needs to happen. And that doesn't happen unless we're connected in this way, and that we can, share these things and, just try to move it forward.
Yeah.
We've been throwing out information for years, and, it's helping a little bit. It's not shocking anybody anymore. I don't hear a lot of people just suddenly waking up saying, oh my God, I had no idea, Everybody's heard it. The only question is, are they going to be convinced by it or not? I mean, there's nobody left on the planet that doesn't know that there are people who are questioning 9/11. I mean, there can't be, right?
Right.
You think?
Yeah, there's still.
I mean, I'm not talking about someone living in a cave somewhere.
Is Chris Gioia on the call?
He is.
Well, he seems to be, but we
Can you hear what I'm saying?
can't hear him talk if he's talking. And so
I do want to ask Chris if he can hear us to address this Captain Patterson.
Yeah. Well, of course, when I saw Chris, that's the first thing I wanted to ask him.
Yeah. Those are really good questions about this guy. Who is he?
I need to make sure. Yeah, I want to know that he's legitimate.
Because we have a mutual friend, forgetting his name right now, friend of Julia's.
Mikey?
Mikey Perazzo, yeah.
Yeah.
He said he had the joy of actually fixing his car with Chris on 9/11.
Right.
Um, and he did say he did get to bring up Captain Patterson. We're still trying to flush it out on whether this guy's legit or not. I don't know.
Chris, there he is. But we
Yeah,
can't hear you. Now we can see your face, but we can't. Are you on a plane? No.
No, unless the plane has a ceiling fan, that's to be something. We can see you, but we can't hear you, brother.
Yeah. Oh wait,
Connect.
it's
There it
connecting.
All right.
There we go. No.
Thank you, sir, for joining us.
All right. I think I have audio.
Yes,
You
you
do.
do.
Yes.
Nice
Hello.
to see you. Hi.
Nice to see everybody.
Very good to see you.
All right. Believe it or not, my monitor doesn't have a camera, so I plug my phone into my computer and I'm using my phone.
Oh wow. Okay.
Tech savvy person, you.
Great.
I'm just a tech deprived boomer.
You
That's
got
all
it.
right. I'm sure there's tech deprived Gen Xers too.
So what did I'm joining in fresh, so I'll just sit on the side until you want to ask me something, and then
We
I
do have a question for you right away.
We all have a burning question for you. Go ahead, Deb, Jean, anybody?
Let me see.
Do you know about, are you aware of, Sandra can always word things better than me and Jean, but are you aware of Captain Patterson? What was the first name? Richard Patterson?
I think it
Uh,
was Richard.
He's on a lot of our videos that you might have seen on, maybe on Jean's Facebook page. And he came down and was telling everyone the spiel about 9/11 truth in full uniform. Said he just retired, and that's why he never really spoke out before, that he was there on 9/11 day. And Sandra.
And he had never heard of you. And we were like, how can you be a retired FDNY, and not be aware of Justice for 9/11 heroes or of Christopher Gioia or, the particular police department that you're in, which Munson, right? He was just completely unaware. And so we were doubting his legitimacy because he came in his, like Deb said, in his full gear. He was incredibly well spoken. See, can you see the screen?
Yes,
Chris?
I see that.
Okay.
I will say this: he is the real deal.
Oh,
How do you know? Can you reassure us?
Yeah,
That we're
because
skeptical right off the bat, but we just need to know before we
We
start
need to be skeptical, yes.
touting him and quoting him. And
He's bona fide. He's genuine.
So you know who he is?
I don't know of him. I could tell from the interaction from that video that he is absolutely supportive of what we're doing.
yes. The only reason we question is because back early in the day, or back in the early 9/11 truth movement, when Hector Noel, the firefighter that had the Go Through 9/11 back patch, there was a Marine with him, and it came out that Marine was not a Marine, he was a fake. And then there was also somebody else that was also a fake. It's like they share 95% of the truth, but later on in the movement, then they come out that they are something other than what they are. So we just want to be sure this isn't going to be a guy that's going to come in sometime down the road and just disrupt the whole.
Right. Like that he's basically an agent or provocateur that, kind of, infiltrates himself. And then, and then he turns out, then let's say we run with him, a little bit like the way that the movement ran with you, it was such a big deal to have someone like you speak for 9/11 truth that, you became a well-known figure overnight because everybody latched onto that because it carried so much weight. And we'd be worried about doing this with him if he turned out to not be legit, because that would hurt us terribly down the line.
I don't blame you for being skeptical one bit. Just from, like I said, I watched the interview and I actually emailed him.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, but I didn't get a response back. So I could try reaching out again just to see.
These are legitimate badges and medals that you would be familiar with for New York?
Yeah, the 2 axes means that he was in the hook and ladder company. I know that because I came out of the hook and ladder company. If they were 2 bugles or hose nozzles, he would have came from an engine company. But the insignia that he's wearing is correct. The uniform that he's wearing is correct. If he retired, God bless him, he made it to retirement.
Right. There's another question. Adam Fitzgerald pointedly asked him in this video, what ladder company are you from? And he said, he didn't say, he said, oh, I work in the area. So that's what, let's set up red flags for us. Like, you should be able to say, but maybe he didn't want to bring heat to his ladder company.
I think, no, you know what? I think that you're absolutely right, is that it's come out that the members of the FDNY were actually threatened with losing their jobs if they speak out about 9/11. So
Yeah,
I
he
can
said that.
understand his trepidation about naming what company, and if the guy's close to retirement or retiring, they could chop him off at the ankles.
But he's already retired, and he said he was not in danger. He could not be touched anymore, and that's why he was coming out. But that's why it's so strange that he would make this public appearance in full gear.
They could figure a way to mess with his pension. I don't know what, but some way. If they want to, they can do something to him. But.
Right, but I mean, he's coming out publicly in person in full gear. He gives his name, yet he draws the line at the department he was in. Other information. Like, it just seems weird that he would come full out with some things and completely obfuscate on other ones.
Sandra, he gave the street interview, and then kind of he disappeared back into the woodwork. So I respect the skepticism that he could be a plant or whatnot, but he kind of voiced his opinion, and then he kind of faded out again. So I don't know. The way he spoke, he seemed genuine to me.
Yeah, he did. He's incredibly impressive. I mean, everybody was transfixed on him when he was speaking. I mean, he had a way of drawing in the crowd, and he spoke so eloquently that he was either the real deal or he's an incredibly good actor. I mean, one of the two.
So, Chris, you got his email from us? I wasn't. He was there all day.
Lee Jameson?
Les Jameson.
Okay, yeah, Les got his information. And Les was going to look into a little bit, but it's really good to hear from you. Les might have contacted you and asked you also.
Yeah, he did. He sent me an email, and I copied David Meiswinkle from the Lawyers Committee as well, because I know that they were very interested in talking to this gentleman as well.
Yeah, no kidding. But he hasn't responded to Les either, I think.
No, he said that he was the captain was going away for the weekend, and then that was it. Nobody ever heard from him again.
Okay.
Huh.
Yeah.
Can I speak?
Up too, as you can see there.
Go ahead, David.
Your quotes all over the lines.
I see that.
Thank you for staying.
Yeah, I wanted to say something first.
Go ahead, David.
Yeah. Yes, thanks. I don't think we've spoken. I've tried to reach out to you. The reason what I wanted to raise now, that I spoke with several of the other firefighters who had come forward and were on that call that the folks in Denver organized. And I have the list of, I believe it's 140 different firefighters who signed the AE petition. when we attempted to form a firefighter outreach team many years ago. And I still have that list. And I would hope that one or more firefighter would be willing to arrange a regular conference call. And they all basically, because they're all so young, I'm 71, really nobody had time to do that. If this guy's real, maybe, and he's really retired, maybe he would have time. But I want you to know that that list exists. I doubt that AE would object to you folks using it to organize firefighters around the country. 140 people is a lot. And if they've changed their phones or their emails, I can look up their current phone and email.
Okay, I will attempt to reach out to Captain Patterson one more time through email.
Great. All three of the other folks on the call know how to reach me.
Yep.
Okay, appreciate that. Thank you.
I really just also want to say, Chris, thank you for stepping up with the other fire commissioners at Franklin Square and Munson District, because we know you took a lot back down because it was coming on a little strong for you. But anything you can, just hats off to you for everything. That's stuck your head up.
Thank you, and Sandra and everybody else as well. I mean, we're all in this together, and everybody brings a unique perspective, and everybody brings something to the table. So we're all on the same team, and you know, and you guys work just as hard. You know, you're on the front lines, literally. You're out there. So, you know, thank you to you too as well.
Well, but that's what it, thank you. And I mean, that's what it comes down to. We all have different tools and different abilities and different connections and whatnot. Yes. And do things in different ways. And the whole idea of this initiative in a way is kind of pooling those resources in order to better organize and work together. You know, like if you, I don't know where you stand with your involvement right now. You know, I know that you left Facebook and, you know, you took a step back for a while. I don't know if that's where you want to stay or if there's anything that we can help you with. I mean, if you need help in doing certain things, we can certainly, you know, reach out to people in ways that maybe you can't, or, you know, I mean, the whole idea is to help each other, right? So if you have ideas or something you'd like to try and we can help you with that, then that would be great.
Sandra, I think that with President Biden, the family members, I know you're aware that the family members sent that letter to President Biden and they told him he wasn't welcome at any of the memorials.
Right.
The media covered it, you know, in the beginning, but they made a very powerful statement. And look what happened. They got the president. I don't know if did you read his executive order?
No.
It's online and you could download it, and it's pretty encompassing. Now, I had a conversation with David Meiswinkle about this because I'm not an attorney, and it seems to me that they have to release some documents related to Saudi Arabia's involvement. And I think that is huge, that to get anything from the government, the more they release, the you know, it just becomes more and more evident. To me, at this point, it's just blatant that the government is hiding something. So
right.
in that regard, I sent out the emails to everybody, and I wanted people to, yeah, that's the president's statement. And then, okay, maybe, yeah, that's from the White House. That's it. Yep, that's it. And I wanted to maybe rally people around the country to start just putting it out on Facebook to, you know, hey, release all the 9/11 documents. It's time, and now's the time for the federal grand jury investigation, just to keep up the pressure and to let them know that there's a lot of people out there that want justice.
You know, if we were going to rally around that, then the kind of pressure that I would want to put on the government is for them to release the pictures surrounding the Pentagon. If we could put pressure on that, that would be powerful too. You know,
Everything.
yeah,
Sandra, everything. Pictures at the Pentagon, pictures at Shanksville. We want the documents relating to every shred of 9/11 investigation. Release everything. It's 20 years now. There's no reason not to, if they want us to believe the official narrative that 19 hijackers, you know, did this terrible event and that there's no conspiracy, then please release all the documents and then show me that.
Put your cards on the table.
Yep, exactly.
And maybe that is the, you know, I mean, look, the whole idea is to find new directions or new ways of how to go about this. And maybe that's what we need to rally around, putting pressure on them to release everything and, you know, make it a rallying cry, release it all, you know?
Yep.
This is something we could contact our local senators, state senators, you know, just start from the grassroots ground up.
Mhm.
And,
Right.
you know, we'll probably get a form letter back like I usually do, but it's a way to start. They sometimes listen, they'll know we're on to them.
Deborah, you're absolutely right. That was, you know, it's so easy to send emails to congressmen and senators and just tell them point blank, hey, release all the documents and impanel a federal grand jury. You know,
Yeah,
now's the time. There's no reason not to.
Mhm.
But beyond that, I mean, you know, like, you know, Gina's been saying, repeating a lot lately, something that, was the psychologist's name? It wasn't Dorothy Lord, Marty Hopper, right? That she's been saying that our two obstacles are the mainstream media and, you know, the shaping of public opinion. If we can bring that, if we can make that somehow a wave that everybody can get on board with, you know, even if, okay, we can all write to senators individually and stuff like that, that's just a drop in the ocean. But if we can make an awareness campaign, you know, where people can just generally across the board, even outside of the echo chamber, you know, saying, yeah, why don't they release everything, you know? And if the public pressure becomes really, really strong, then maybe that's something that can ultimately make a difference.
Yeah,
But it's got to come from everybody.
That's
It's got to
for
become
sure.
public
Well,
knowledge, you know?
The
Public
media,
knowledge.
the media has full control, as you know how many people own the media now, even compared with 20 years ago, how few. I mean, we all know that, I'm sure. I don't have to repeat that.
Yeah.
It's a Goliath for sure, mega Goliath. But we do what we can.
Absolutely. I think that we have to go around the mainstream media. We have to go around them. I don't watch the news anymore. I've just totally tuned them out. My life is so much better that it's so obvious that the news is, you know, it's fake. It is.
Right.
Oh,
Right.
They're just
Full
playing
propaganda.
people, and there's an agenda, and it's, you know. So I tell people, you know, do you believe? Don't even believe the news. Just shut it off. If anything, just watch the weather, because it's all BS.
Yeah.
That's why we need to go around. We have the internet and social media as our weapons. And Gene, you're in the war room. And you know what? We have weapons at our disposal. We could reach the masses. We could reach people, grassroots. And we could also reach out to our elected officials as well. We don't need to involve mainstream, any kind of media whatsoever, maybe alternative media. because that's where people are flocking to. The polls have all shown that people don't trust the media anymore. And the media, if you look at their ratings are in the toilet, and rightfully so.
Yeah.
CNN is the worst. And if anything, they're all leaning communist. That's what I call them. They're a bunch of commies.
Yep.
But I'm a boomer, so.
We were talking earlier about how this was a recent poll that we just did, and the results are showing that while it's still, some people would look at this graphic and say, oh, we're really not doing that great. But from years past, we're gaining on people being skeptical about the official story. So we are making moves there. I want to show you this other graphic as well.
Okay. We have to be really careful with the polls, because there's a lot of fake polls out there as well. But
this was the other question that we had asked. So we actually came up with this in our 20th anniversary committee.
Okay.
And this is showing that 63% of the public polled there are still think the towers came down from the impact of the airliners and jet fuel. So we do have we still have some work to get, to influence public opinion. But I think that's the objective, that we need to go around mainstream media, like you just said.
Absolutely. They cut them out of the equation. They're not on our side at all. They're doing their own thing, and they're very content to promote their own agenda and move away from this. They don't, I'm sure that all of you have found that note that anybody does not want to talk about this, and they want to move away from it. They want it to be buried. They want it,
you know what? I just had an interesting experience where a month ago in Montreal, we had an anti-vaccine passport protest in the street, and we were about 20 or 30,000 people. And on any other occasion, that would have been the front page news. And it wasn't covered even with a small little article. And this weekend, there was an environmental protest by students that a couple of thousand attended, and it made the big story, So it just goes to show how the media completely picks and chooses what stories they run with, So it's not about a massive protest. It's like, what are you protesting? And if we want the light on it, we'll report it. And if we don't, we're just going to bury it.
Yeah, they won't touch it with a 10-foot pole.
Nope.
I could talk for an hour on specific examples, especially around COVID and the vaccine, but I won't get into that.
Oh yeah, well, we're all living that right now. We're seeing it.
Just the stories. Like nurses are, okay, real quick. Nurses are leaving because they're not vaccinated. They have September 27th.
Yeah.
We know that, nurses and doctors, healthcare workers. So there's big stories now how nurses and doctors are leaving the job because of the pressure put on them by the anti-vaxxers. And they just can't stand the stress. So they're all going to have to quit now because they can't stand the stress. So I think of the people I work with as an example. Oh, I went to the hospital and it was shut. Certain wards were shut down because of those anti-vaxxers. That's what they're going to believe. So the media, not even do they not cover certain things, but they get ahead of you. They twist it around to shape public opinion that way.
There we go.
But there's
so
one big difference. One big difference between those two is that right now 9/11 is not censored by the social platforms. I can post till I'm blue in the face about 9/11. I have never gotten a fact check. I've never gotten a warning. No post has ever been taken down. It's a very different story. So, and when it comes to 9/11, it's just the mainstream media that's blacking it out, right? But when it comes to this current fiasco, it's not just the mainstream media, it's also all the social platforms that are in on it. Because you cannot post any information about what's going on without getting a warning or some kind of fact check or something, or literally.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Somebody listening to music there?
I'm not sure. That might just be a connection thing.
So you got to figure it out, David. I just had to put you on mute. There you go. I think you got to figure it out now.
So, yeah, so I mean, yeah, we have to fight mainstream media, but I think for 9/11 at least, we do have social media on our side, because
We
that's
do. We
for
do.
some reason that's not being censored.
We have
Which,
people around the world that support us. There's a tremendous movement out there, a lot more than what, you know, mainstream media or anybody will let on. That I think everybody knows at this point that, you know, 9/11 was a false flag event. It's just so massive. It's so obvious. It's so blatant that the release of these documents, every single document that the government releases, just proves that out. They're hiding. They're protecting Saudi Arabia now. Who's hooked up with Saudi Arabia? The Bush family is hooked up with Saudi Arabia. All right. Now, what does the Bush family have to do with Saudi Arabia? Now, the Bush family is tied into that Carlyle group. Okay. Now you get the military-industrial complex. So it's all tied in. But people who know see that. People who are intelligent and are aware of what's going on, they see all of that. And that, you know, that's worldwide. And now all we have to do is just keep the pressure on them. And maybe somebody in the government, in the Justice Department, will rise to the occasion, and they will do the right thing, because, you know, America was stabbed in the heart 20 years ago, and, you know, we're hemorrhaging, and you know, we're dying. We're dying as a country. And we have to stop this bleeding, and you know, we have to heal. We have to come together, and we have to heal, and we got to set things right and get back on track.
yeah, can I just say, I'm not sure if you're aware of this, Chris, but while we were standing there at Ground Zero on the 10th and on the 11th, especially the 11th, there were throughout the day, 5 fire trucks that drove by, and we cheered them on, and they saw our signs and they knew why we were there, and all of them gave us some kind of a reaction. Some of them honked, some of them waved, some of them gave us a thumbs up.
Yep.
Some just gave us like a peace sign. So Gene, of course, with his pipes, is standing there screaming, "They know, they know."
They know, Gene, you're right. They know, Gene.
Yeah, 2 trucks gave the horn. I got one truck, they gave thumbs up, the other guy gave a peace sign, and that's when I yelled, you know, these gentlemen know they have pensions, livelihoods, families, and even their own lives to worry about, but they know, and you know, tons of people looking, so they heard.
Yeah, they know. They can't say anything because they're paid. They're on the books.
Yep.
You know?
Right, but it was so encouraging though to see them just even quietly acknowledging in their own way that, yeah, you know.
I have a question for you, Chris. So you and the 4 other commissioners unanimously agreed in Franklin Square and Munson District, but we haven't heard from the other 4, especially the one gentleman that has lung damage. Could you speak on where they went or why they didn't stand so close with you on this?
Oh boy. There's a backstory to the whole resolution. I wish I had more time. I'm gonna have to be stepping out soon.
Understood.
I'm going out to dinner, but I will say this, that I'm not on the board anymore. I lost my bid for re-election. Philip Malloy, one of the other commissioners, he also was voted out of office. Joe Torregrossa still sits on the board along with Dennis Lyons, and we have two new commissioners, and Les Salzman is still also on the board of fire commissioners. So there's
So the short
Dennis,
answer is
Joe, and Les. Three out of the original 5 are still on the board.
so the powers that be may be pushing you guys out. You kind of say.
Oh, me personally came under tremendous pressure, and I came under attack, and I will say this, that it got pretty nasty, and that's why I bailed off of everything. I just, you know, I had to, you know, it was self-preservation pretty much. But now things have, you know, here it is almost a year later, and things have calmed down, and we've regrouped, and we actually turned it around a little bit, went back on the offensive because they wanted to get me out of the fire department. They weren't successful in doing that. They knocked me out of office, but they didn't get me out of the department. And now everything is turned around. So I'm still there, and now they have to watch out for me.
David wants to ask you something, but just a quick question. Are you anywhere close to retirement? Because that would really help.
I'm close to retirement.
Okay, good. Okay, go ahead, David. What do you want to ask him?
It's not a question. It's just a continued comment from my earlier comment. The folks at CAP do organizing geographically, but I proposed over 70 teams at AE when I was with AE, only one of which was the firefighter team. And we can have teams
we're gonna go
by skill and profession and interest that can organize, and those teams should exist. I actually found team leaders for over 30 teams, and those teams, maybe AE will allow this again. They did not. They shut down every one of them when I left, when I was thrown out. But there are different skills that, because people who sign the AE petition put down what they do for a living or what they're good at or what they're interested in, you can have dozens of other teams besides the firefighter. Firefighters are the most important because everybody, I mean, I didn't know, but firefighters are the most respected and trusted vocation. But there are many other skills that we can organize around nationally.
No, that's absolutely true. We should tap all the resources available to us.
Right. And we should, but Dave, I mean, it's very, very different. You got to distinguish between someone who just signs a petition and someone who's willing to actively get involved.
Because they put their phone numbers, you can call them up.
And absolutely.
Some of them will say yes.
Yes, I agree.
I helped John Metters of Colorado form the outreach to law enforcement. And he emailed them all, there were 100 of them, and only one person responded. I said, John, you've got to call them. You only can email people who are expecting an email from you. Otherwise, it's spam. And he did call them. And we had regular conference calls for about 3 months. I'm not saying that every project will be successful, but this should be tried. There are 1,500 teachers who signed the AE petition. 1,500.
Yeah, no, you're right. Everything's worth a shot because you never know where you're going to plant a seed and how you're going to get the ball rolling. I'm just saying it's still very, look, I was on the translation. I still am on the translation team for AE, and I reached out to anybody who listed a different language other than English as a mother tongue to see if they'd be willing to translate. We were contacted by people who said, hey, I speak this language. Do you need help? And so they offered, and we said, yes, gladly. Here's a text. Start off with a small video by David Chandler, 2 minutes. Start with that. These are the instructions. And half of the people who contacted us never followed through. So never mind the ones that we contacted. I mean, you have to go through 100 people to retain one, you know. It's a very difficult process. You know, and then to keep them engaged and motivated. I mean, I think that's kind of the purpose of this call, is try to connect people and, you know, keep people motivated, because without that connection, we're just like all just, you know, solo runners in our own cities with nobody to bounce off of. So, you know, that's the challenge to me. It's finding them and then getting them to do what they could possibly do with the tools that they have.
I think Chris probably has to get going here.
Yeah, my family's they're gonna strangle me, so I'm gonna say
we don't want that.
No.
Our apologies to your family, and thank you for joining.
Yes.
Thank you for having us. To be
Truly appreciate it.
Look forward to hearing from you, Chris.
Yeah, David.
Every Sunday at 5 p.m. we'll be here.
Okay. I'm gonna get a computer with a camera.
Sounds good.
All right. I will talk to everyone soon. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks, Chris. See you next time.
All right, you got it. You take care now.
Bye.
All right, bye-bye.
Nice. That was very cool.
That was very cool. That was unexpected.
Now he's got to figure out how to disconnect. Well, that made you go.
That was great.
That was. So
Yeah,
he-
not that any of you are chopped liver or anything, but you know, having Chris is kind of special.
Yeah, he is. So yeah, about a year ago, he came out full force swinging haymakers, and it sounds to me like he and the other commissioners got a lot of push, and they're trying to phase those guys out. And that's
But it sounds like, I mean, he said that things were turning around now, so maybe that's a good sign, and maybe that means that they have some leverage that they didn't have before, and that because he's been relatively quiet over the last few months, so
I'm sure
you
he's
know,
met with a tremendous amount of people on the side. that
yeah,
come to him in private. Yeah. And we are looking at about the time that a lot of these gentlemen that were around for 9/11 are going to be nearing retirement. So there's a chance that there is going to be a small army of firefighters that are ready to speak out once they get to retirement.
Can you imagine the power of having Chris and Patterson, if he turns out to be legit, those two together in the public eye? I mean, that would be so powerful. I mean, because they're both respected and well-spoken and clearly know what they're talking about. And, you know, and they have, like, I don't know who said, Dave, was you who said that? It's the most respected profession, is that it?
Trusted vocation.
Vocation, yeah.
Trusted.
Trusted, yes. So that counts for a lot. I mean, you know, when we're working on, you know, the public trust, you know, that carries a lot of weight.
Yep. There's another firefighter that, I mean, I'm friends with some FDNY on my timeline, my Facebook profile, and I wanted to show you this gentleman here. His name's Tim Duffy. He stays on my, he's FDNY, and he still kind of goes along with the official story. He says that 7 came down because the fuel tanks exploded in the lower levels, even though me and Paul Simon, is that the name?
Yeah.
Yes.
Firefighters from 9/11 Truth continue to show him that's impossible for that to happen. This famous photo of Tim Duffy, if anybody's seen it, he was, once he got, the fire trucks were unavailable, he hopped on his personal motorcycle and was driving around trying to get things taken care of. So it's funny that he hasn't unfriended me. He's seen all the stuff I've had for years. He's been friends on Facebook. So he's like, it seems like he wants to say something, but he just.
But does he respond? Because I mean, maybe he just unfollowed you and he doesn't see your posts at all.
He sees my posts. He responds. Yeah,
He does.
I really think he wants to say more, but he can't. But yeah.
My attitude is that anybody who will have a civil dialogue with me on 9/11, even if they disagree, is a hero of mine.
Yeah, I agree.
Sorry, Ross, I had muted you because some noise was coming in from somewhere. So if you have anything to share, please feel free. I think this is a good landing spot. We had a nice talk with Chris Gioia, and we're down to 4 now. And what do you guys think? Anything else?
Yeah. Well, Ross put a message in the chat to say that he couldn't stay. So I don't know if he's accidentally still connected or if he's still on at all. You want to try to unmute him just in case he?
I did.
Okay.
I don't see anything.
Okay.
But
I mean, Chris really put that idea in my head now with, you know, I mean, there's so many documents that the government is sitting on that would shed light that obviously they're trying to hide, but they're getting away with trying to hide it. And, you know, if we can get into the, you know, mainstream narrative, that idea of release the documents and make that kind of thing go right. You know, if you made memes, you know, with release the documents or release all the documents, and then you list them, you know, you list all of them, and you just keep on sharing and keep on sharing. And, you know, everybody who's not part of the choir is going to see it. And at one point it's going to click. It's like, yeah, release the freaking documents, you know, they're out there. And specifically, if you name them and point them out to say which ones need to be released, I think the American public would be curious. They would, who would not want to see pictures of what happened at the Pentagon? You know, who, you know, conspiracy or not, on board or not, you ask people, would you want to see a picture of a plane approaching, or a video of a plane approaching the Pentagon or not?
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to say that regarding that, I attended an American Arab National Convention in DC when I lived close over 10 years ago. And Eric Holder, who was Attorney General, spoke, and I made up buttons calling for Holder to release the Pentagon videos.
Well, I think that's what we need. You know, whether it's the, you know, like Chris said, the Saudi papers or other government papers or anything at all. Like, clearly they're sitting on a lot of stuff. And, you know, if,
like any convention, they had booths, and both the CIA and the FBI had booths there. And I complimented the FBI folks because they had admitted that there was no proof that bin Laden did it. And one of the FBI people seemed to hear that, and the other was cold stone face.
As they have to be.
Right.
Ross, you're back. We can't hear you. You're muted.
Just unmute.
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm kind of in the middle. I'm doing this project that has to get done
That's okay.
right now. So I'm that's why I took the video off, because I'm just listening to you guys while I'm doing this project. So
All right. I hope we're not distracting you.
well, you are.
In a good way.
Well, yeah. I wish we didn't have to be distracted in these ways, but yeah, you're distracting me in a good way. So
well, is there anything you just want to say, or?
well, I'm going to be part of these calls. I'm glad, Gene, thank you for bringing this group together. We've needed this for a while, and wondered who would step up to the plate. And so it's not surprising that it's Sandra and Gene and Chris and all you, and David Slesinger and Deb. So, so I want to be part of the group. I'll, as I said, today is kind of in the middle of this project, has to get done in a time frame, but I'll be here on Sundays at 5, right? Every Sunday.
That's what it's going to be.
So I'll let you guys fill the airwaves right now, and then next Sunday I'll just jam it all up with all my stuff.
All right, sounds great.
Or any other time. No, but it sounds good. I'm listening to everything you're saying and trying to pick up on it as much as I can. So thanks again, Dean. Yeah.
Well, thanks for running with it.
Yeah. Yes. It's going to be good.
All right.
Okay.
Now go do your project.
I'm going to.
So speaking on wanting files to be released, in 2018, I filed this FOIA request you both, I think, are aware of. I filed and asked for all videos within 1 mile of the Pentagon. David Cole helped me with this. And then when we had it checked by Mick Harrison, Mick said, don't get so specific as asking within 1 mile or putting a time frame on it between 9:30 and 10:30 a.m. But Dave kept pushing me, yeah, do that. And I did it, and it bit me because it went back and forth quite a few times. And the last response I got from them is basically saying, we have 13 videos. There's additional footage, approximately 100 videos. So this is an addition to the 84, 85 videos that we got. So there's an additional 100 videos, but they say, however, this material has not been reviewed. And I was bummed out, but when Mick came back and says, no, this is good news. We've got them on the hook now because they did not present that evidence to the 9/11 Commission or to Congress as they were required to do. So there is there is 100 other videos. If they destroyed them, they're now on the hook for them. So that's where this lawsuit is now at the onto the Supreme Court, as I understand it. Let me bring this up real quick. See, we got a 9/11.
I just want to say hi to Julia because she just joined in.
Yeah,
And
sorry, I know I'm so late, but
I know it's late, but you missed Deb, who had to leave. She was on for about an hour, and Chris just had to leave too. And Ross is with us from a distance. He's working on a project, and he just basically listening to us in the background. So
I just figured I'll catch whatever I can from today's meeting and try to show up to the next one.
yeah, no, I mean, for you, it's earlier in the day, right? So
Yeah, 2, which isn't actually bad time. It just today didn't work out.
Okay, all right.
as I
But it
say,
was really
saying-
interesting to hear what that. Anyway, sorry. I just wanted to, while you were searching, Gene, I just wanted to address Julia.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I look forward to checking out the recording if I can.
Yeah, there you go. Of course, yeah.
I sent her the quick text in Messenger saying Joya's on.
And I was like, wow, I'm glad he came. That's awesome.
I was really surprised that he did, because he's been so quiet these last few months. It was totally unexpected, and he seems to be pretty gung-ho about getting involved again. Like, I mean, it seems that they had some pushback in his department, and that's kind of what explained a little bit of the retreat. And he said that the tables were turned now, and it looks like he was implying that they could move forward again. So, I mean, unless I'm misreading what he said, but that was kind of my interpretation of it.
Good. I've been talking with him more, and we have some plans
Okay, great.
ramping up.
Well, there you
So,
go.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
So just where I was going with this was where my FOIA request is wrapped up in the lawsuit that has now gone to the Supreme Court, I guess in the DC area. So this is, lawyers committee are still pushing full force with it. That's where it's at. So that's all. I wish I had Dave Meiswinkle or Mick. Mick has reached out to me in an email and says if we'd like to discuss all of the legalities of, let me try this again. I'm not a wordsmith. I looked up on Pacer the appeal process for the grand jury request in the Southern District of New York. And you see a lot of stuff going back and forth up to the 10th. And I didn't understand what all this back and forth was. And he said, if you want me to explain it to you, I'd be glad to. Just arrange a Saturday and we'll do a call. So, or a weekend. So maybe next weekend I could line it up that Mick Harrison could join us and just.
Yeah, that'd be perfect.
Yeah. So, all right, that's that.
Yeah, and and the lawyers committee, I mean, like Barbara said often, I mean, they don't have their own volunteers or their own boots on the ground people. I mean, they're just a small entity unto themselves, and because they're so specialized, they can't really go outside of that. But if there's stuff, again, just like I told Chris before, if we can, if the people who are outside of those small groups can help those small groups with whatever initiatives they have, I mean, then that's what brings everyone together, right? Like we're the ants, we're the workforce.
Mm-hmm.
So, wherever this goes.
All right. I'm good to end it now, but anybody else have anything else to say for the good of the order?
Good to see all your faces again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's kind of a continuation of what we've been doing for the last 6 months. But, this is the quiet time for 9/11, right? After the anniversary, everything quiets down. Everybody forgets about it for a while and stuff like that. But, if we can start now, and get stuff done throughout the year and better prepare for the next anniversary, then we're already a step ahead of the game, right? So.
Yep. All right. Thank you all for being a part of this first.
All right, and we'll share the link with anybody who's interested in just watching the recording.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Have a good evening.
Take care.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, Ross. Bye, Julia. Jean, talk to you in a bit.
Yep.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.